So the Ace Fest finally happened, and if you've seen my last video, you would also be aware that it wasn't exactly great. Usually in these Ace Fest videos, I do start them off by saying, if you're not aware what the Ace Fest is, I'm gonna give you a brief rundown, but so much stuff has happened now that I literally can't. We'll be here all day. So if you want a proper in-depth explanation, then check out my previous video, but if you want a very fast explanation, then here you go. The Ace Fest promoted a festival, they said it was going to be great, turns out it wasn't, turns out it was also a bit of a scam, people aren't happy. Sorted. So obviously after the Ace Fest has happened, a lot of YouTubers like myself made videos giving our thoughts and opinions on the Ace Fest and how bad it actually was. So as you can imagine, I've been eagerly waiting to see what the Ace family's response would be to the fact that everyone thinks the event was a bit of a failure, and it turns out they finally uploaded a video. They've titled the video, "This Brought Us to Tears," which is quite ironic because I can imagine that every single person who attended the Ace Fest also was brought to tears. But in all seriousness, let's see what the Ace family happened to say about their event.
It is now 8, almost 9 o'clock.
I think we met like 10,000 people.
Baby, we did it.
I think we met 10,000 people. I'm sorry to break it to you, Catherine, but this doesn't look like 10,000 people to me. Now, in all fairness, there was obviously like an inside bit where they did the meet and greet, and I've seen pictures of it. I would assume, if I had to hazard a guess, it looked like maybe 2,000 people showed up, maybe 3,000 at a push. But it definitely wasn't the 10,000 people that Catherine just said it was, and it most certainly wasn't the 20,000 capacity that the Ace family even said themselves would sell out.
So every event that we have sells out in seconds. You guys know this.
Oh, sorry, that was just them predicting that it sold out, by the way. They actually even went as far to put on the website that it did officially sell out, which, let's bring the pictures back up again, shall we?
I just want to say that leading up to the event, obviously we, started planning this months ago, and we live in a time where people aren't really doing events like these.
What do you mean people aren't doing events like these? Like, maybe no YouTuber has decided to make a fair or a carnival, but these things happen every single fucking weekend, especially during the summer. Like, if you've seen any of the footage, it was a standard fair. It was a standard town fair. So I just don't understand it when Catherine keeps trying to make it seem as if it was this big groundbreaking event. Like, the only difference is you decided to call it a festival when it clearly wasn't a festival. There was no live performances like they said there would be. There was no wildlife park like they said there would be. It definitely wasn't Disneyland meets Coachella like they said it would be. Oh, and also I got sent this in my Instagram DMs the other day, and this is from Austin Mcbroom's story from a couple of months ago when they were promoting the Ace Fest. Who should we have perform at the Ace Fest? Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, Doja Cat, or Catherine McBroom. I mean, yeah, similar standard. But these were the names that they were teasing to perform at the event. 3 of the biggest artists in the world, and no one performed. It is clear as day a scam. It is nothing but a scam.
We're living in a time where people don't want to leave their homes. People are afraid.
Okay, now, although that may be true, because a lot of stuff has happened recently, Catherine surely isn't going to use this as an excuse as to why no one turned up, right?
Also, like, we're living in a time where people don't have extra money to spend on, an event and go and meet someone that you've been watching for years, someone that you love, your role model, whatever you want to call it.
So why did you make the tickets so expensive then? Like, I feel like these are just subtle excuses, like the fact that people don't want to leave the house anymore, the fact that people can't afford to go to events like this. It seems like Catherine is using these as subtle excuses as why no one turned up. If you really cared about the fact that people can't afford to go to events like this, make the tickets cheaper. Make them the normal fare prices. Like I said in my last video, there's one in my local area that's free to get into. Loads of comments on that video are also saying that in their state or their country or wherever they are in the world, a fare to get into is no more than $20, whereas these people were trying to charge $300 for a pass or $500 for a pass. They made the tickets so expensive because they thought they could sell enough of them to make a fuck ton of money. They only done this event to make money. That's all the Ace family does. And I'm not even trying to be judgmental here. Their track record shows it. I mean, their last boxing event, it resulted in so many lawsuits because they refused to pay the fighters. Clearly all they care about is money. That's why they made the tickets so expensive, because they thought they could sell them, and now they didn't. They're making all these excuses and being like, oh, we understand, people can't afford these tickets sometimes. Well, maybe you should have thought about that beforehand, eh? Wouldn't that been a good idea?
You could just feel the energy, like people were just so real and just so excited and just so much light.
So much light, apparently. I mean, I haven't seen any of it. Yeah, it looks like it's bouncing in there, like, God, I just can't believe I missed out on all the fun.
Also, like, it happens every single year. after every big milestone, after every single event, there's always a downside to it, obviously.
The only downside here is the event itself. Like, I'm just trying to work out, is Catherine McBroom just trying to manipulate everybody, or is she just genuinely delusional? Is she trying to manipulate her audience into thinking these events are actually really, really good, and people only criticise them because of their Ace family, and they can get a bunch of views, and they're just jealous of them? Or is she just delusional in the sense that she genuinely thinks these events are good, and she genuinely thinks that people are only making videos on them because they're the Ace family? Because if that is the case, then I am very worried for her. Like, I use this comparison all the time, but if people solely just wanted views, they would talk about people like PewDiePie or Mr. Beast. But people don't do that, because they don't really do anything wrong, whereas the Ace family continuously scam people.
One thing that I did learn throughout the years is the bigger your light, the more darkness you're surrounded by. And one can't exist without the other, so it's always coexisting.
Oh, very emotional, Catherine, mate. So, Catherine, please explain, why was the Ace Fest such a big failure? Well, you see, it's very simple. It's all about the light and the darkness of the world. The universe as we know it is full of darkness, but the Ace family will always reign supreme. Think of it like this. If the world is spinning, and the lights are beaming, and the darkness will always try to overtake our spirit, but we just can't let that happen. You know what I mean? I
feel like just knowing that and like being so aware of that, I think that that's brought me so much joy, but I just want to share it with you guys.
Okay, right, I've answered my own question. She's genuinely delusional. She doesn't think she scam people because there's always light and darkness. Like, how are you supposed to argue against that? But getting away from the Ace Fest, but sticking with Austin Mcbroom, he does also have another event coming up very shortly, and it's another social gloves event, a boxing event. Now, it's no secret that a lot of YouTubers don't want to partner with Austin anymore after seeing the failure of the last event, but I didn't realise it was this bad. So here's the fight card. We got Austin Mcbroom versus a Nissan Gibb, a fight that I'd actually be quite interested to see. Then we've got what I can only assume are two American footballers that I've never heard of in my life. Then we've got Swaggy P, which I'm gonna go out on a limb and say is a basketball player, versus Blueface, which is a rapper that I haven't even heard of for the past, like, I don't know, 4 years. Then we've got Austin Mcbroom's own brother versus Adam Salah, two people I just don't really care about. And then we've got Battle of the Reality Stars with Corey Wharton and Chase Demure. Not a fucking clue. The last event got 130,000 pay-per-view buys. I would be more than surprised if this event broke 100,000. And the worst bit is, they did a press conference for it, and as we can see by Nissan Gibbs' Twitter, he wasn't even invited to it. The bloke's the main event, and he didn't even get invited to the press conference. Like, how badly organised is your event, Austin? And you know what, just to end this video, let's have a look at part of the press conference.
This man joining us via satellite. He is a YouTube star.
Wait, sorry, is that full volume? Why is it so quiet? Oh, turns out I did have it on full volume. The production levels are just that bad. I mean, luckily for you, I can turn it up in editing. For me, this is going to be a struggle.
He is the seven-figure Gibber, the beast from the east, Nissan Gibb. Nissan.
How you doing, sir?
Oh my god, this is a fucking disaster, isn't it? First things first, if you're gonna put him on the screen, put him in the fucking centre. This is meant to be Austin's big boxing card, and the production is quite clearly awful. Oh god, this is worse than I thought.
How you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic, and Nissan, not as good as you look because...
I mean, can he stay on the screen for maybe more than a second? Fucking hell, what is going on here?
He's a proud family man. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the undefeated Austin Mcbroom!
And the crowd goes wild! Oh, this is a disaster, isn't it? This is a fucking disaster.
Mcbroom, main eventing a second time, Crypto.com arena.
They're just trying to do, like, the explanation, and Gibb keeps fucking disappearing in and out. Like, what is going on? This is actually a shambles!
You're the main event. Your name's on top of the marquee against a Nissan Gibb. What's going through your mind?
Oh man, it's a blessing.
It's a blessing. It's your event. You can put yourself anywhere you want to be. Talking like he's deserved the main event spot. It's your own event, Austin.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, this fight was long overdue. That's why kind of the promotion is called No More Talk. We've been both chatting back and forth for now going on a year, like you mentioned.
God, he's so boring, isn't he? Like, this could have actually been quite good if Gib was at the press conference, because he's actually a very entertaining person. He could have carried this, but Austin Mcbroom has the personality of a fucking wall. But yeah, either way, it seems like that event's going to be a shambles as well. Let's hope that Gib gets the win. Most importantly, let's hope he actually gets paid. And yeah, I think we're going to leave the video there. If you did enjoy, please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you are new. If you want to let me know topics to talk about in future videos, the best way to do that's on my Instagram. It's at MARKIE, and it's always linked in the description. And until the next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, goodbye.